Guys, Terracer here with Teamfight Breakdown 4 from SKT K versus Najee and White Shield. This is the first match in the best of 5 to decide who gets to represent Korea at Worlds. Like always, going to let the clip roll out before we discuss it.
In the end, it just barely wasn't enough to keep K down, and now they're just storming their way into the base. There goes an inhibitor turret, and they might be able to just take this inhibitor too.
Oh, there's not much they can do,
they're
really.
going at it. Save coming in, trying to make a play here. Hillzonia's right away. Piglet low there, trying to get him down. Kicking him back in there. Will the calling do it? No! Yes, they do get Piglet. A double kill for Save, but can they finish up? Bengi in trouble. Shockwave! And Faker makes a big play onto Goong. Triple kill though for Save, and Shield maybe turning this one around though. Impact, the last man standing. Can he fight both Zephyr and Save? I don't think so.
Alright, so I'm just going to be running this video for discussion purposes and mute it. So before we even get into this video, we have to talk about the actual items. Let's see if I actually have that. There we go. So the items in the team comps for both teams. To set up a context for this team fight, SKT K was down in gold, global gold actually, and Najee and White Shield was up, and Najee and White Shield took a bad fight, and SKT K ended up getting a Baron. And SKT K was trying to push the advantage of the bot lane to prevent Najee and White Shield from taking Barons, but Najee and White Shield is a great team in the late game. SKT K is very good as well, but this series I don't think they showed up, even though their world's position was on the line. So as we get into the team comps, we have SKT K, who has a tank top lane with Impact. They have 1 AP damage source, and they have 2 80 damage sources. And Pumandu Stresh is not really going to tank anything. He's there for utility and try to set up the picks so that Faker can get an ultimate, or so that Bengi can jump on them and assassinate them real quick. And another interesting to note is Piglet's build. He goes Trinity Force Bork Phantom Dancer, so this build is maximum kite, and he also has the QSS to cleanse any slows or any CC that might occur. Faker does not have a Zonia, so he's not scared of the Cassidon or the Ahri jumping on him. He just wants to do as much damage as possible so that Bengi can get resets and start jumping all over the fight. And Mundo's just looking to tank everything and try to sit on the back line. But with White Shield's team comp, Gorilla plays such an amazing Janna. Like, it's so ridiculous. He has a bunch of stacks right now from his Medjais. He has actually the Captain enchantment on his boots, so it gives something between Janna's passive and the Captain enchantment, like 15% extra movement speed, which is ridiculous, to help his team kind of kite out and also chase, but it doesn't really matter this much during this fight because he dies almost instantaneously. Zephyr has the green Alacrity enchantment, so he gets an extra like 25 movement speed, I'm pretty sure, off that enchantment, so he's just going really fast in these fights between his T2 boots with the green enchantment and Janna's extra movement speed. Save comes up huge in this fight. He's looking to just jump onto the backline, and an interesting thing about White Shield's initiation is that their initiation is a Cassidon ultimate into a slow, and then he Zanya's. So, or the Lee Sin kick by Watch, and Watch was playing great this series. They also have the Ahri Spirit Rush in and get a charm, but that's a little obvious, and for Ahri to complete that initiation, she's gonna have to get a nice flank around, which she kind of does during this fight. But anyways, out of these two team comps, I would actually favor White Shield to win, because SKT K has a pretty long ramp up time between Vayne and Mundo, and Orianna's early game is not really enough for me to balance out with all the ramp up time that SKT K needs for their Mundo and Vayne to get huge. And they only pretty much got back to this game from the Lucky Baron. I really like White Shield's comp because of the way Zephyr plays his Janna. He likes to shield and heal the backline for a lot of with all his AP because of the Medjais. And the way Gorilla, and the way Zephyr plays, like, he went with this early Bloodthirster in the Janna shield, so he was actually a kind of tanky member on his own and allowed him to get in the middle of the mix. And Cassidon was pretty tanky with his Rod of Ages, so I don't know, I just like White Shield's comp better, and to actually just go in depth about like the strengths of each comp and stuff like that in the lane phase and all that other stuff would be a whole video in its own. So as we get to the start of the fight, SKT K just tries to siege. Gorilla gets a tornado onto Impact as he's taking the turret. They try harassing, and this is a really nice tornado by by Gorilla, because what it does is it blocks off this whole path, and SKT K can't go into this path, and Bengi's gonna try to go around, but it's a max range tornado by Gorilla, and he's gonna get knocked up at the very end. Faker moves his ball over here, and this is really important because it prevents Goong and Watch from coming in, and I think Faker kind of misplays this fight a little bit because he doesn't ult when Goong and Watch are trying to come in onto this fight. Instead, he ults much later into the fight. So you can see the blue arrows are all of SKT K trying to move out of the way for this tornado because they know the initiation is coming in, but because they already corralled themselves into a small area, it's going to allow Save to get in there with his Kassadin ultimate, slow them all for a huge percentage amount, which is kind of like a mini stun, and he's going to zone you, so the exhaust that Pumandu puts on him is going to not do anything. So their crowd Bengi gets knocked up, Save comes in, and he gets the nice slow onto Pumandu, Bengi, Piglet, and Faker, so they're all slowed, and Save's going to get a Q onto Faker, so they're all decently chunked as well. Zepha's going to be coming in with the Janna speed and also his Alacrity speed up. This is where Save came in from. Goong and Watch still can't come in because of the Orianna ball, because Faker still has the potential to ultimate this. However, what's going to happen is Faker's going to bring the ball to himself, and that's going to allow Goong and Watch to come in onto the side onto Bengi, and Impact's going to have to try to zone out Goong for the whole time. So as we let the fight roll, Faker brings the ball onto himself. I think, yep, this is it right here. Faker brings the ball onto himself. Watch gets a Q onto Bengi. Goong goes onto Bengi as well. Goong launches some abilities. I'm pretty sure he uses DFG. If not, he uses the DFG on Piglet. Save instantly Zanya's the exhaust, so Save is not taking any damage. You can actually see he hasn't taken any damage. He wastes Pumandu's exhaust, which Pumandu could have used on Goong, or he could have used on Watch, so that was a misplay by Pumandu. Pumandu gets a box, which he should have moved a little more over to the right to prevent Zepha and Gorilla from coming into this fight, which he kind of does, and Impact, and maybe he also should have moved down to kind of help defend Piglet and Bengi and Faker. But I don't know, that's stylistic choice, but instead he goes for the panic ultimate right around where he is, and it doesn't really do much because, like I said, Save is Zanya'd in the middle of it. Goong and Watch end up going around, and Zepha ends up just knocking down the wall anyways to bring down Pumandu's health. So let the fight go on a little bit. Watch goes on to Bengi. I think I have this, actually. No, I have it a little after. So Watch goes on to Bengi. He saves his E until he gets into range of Piglet and of Bengi. So Watch gets vision of actually two people who are invisible for his team. So now his team can see both of them. Gorilla breaks the back line of Pumandu's box. He chunks Pumandu. Impact right now is just jumping onto Goong to try to prevent Goong from doing all this damage. Faker still hasn't done anything. Like he has the ball on himself, shielding nothing. Like there's no damage being put onto Faker. Faker should have ulted right over here to prevent Watch and Goong from going in. So now you have Bengi, who got extremely low, Piglet, who's extremely low, Pumandu, who's extremely low. Let the fight continue. Watch takes a bunch of damage. Goong goes in. Bengi jumps backwards. The back line of Pumandu's ultimate is broken. Impact is still trying to go on to Goong. Pumandu is taking a lot of damage at this point, and pretty sure I have it. Well, it's a little afterwards, and I'll pause it anyways. So Watch takes a lot of damage from Piglet and from Bengi's isolation, because Bengi has like plus 40 AD from Baron buff, and also he has Last Whisper and the Spirit of the Elder Lizard. So Watch took a bunch of damage to try and get this kick onto Piglet back into his team, and at the same time Piglet silver bolted Watch backwards, which I guess it's correct, but I'm pretty sure Watch doesn't get stunned by this. And Watch also placed a ward, so Faker's going to end up autoing the ward, but what's going to happen is Watch is going to go back to the where he was around this ward area, and they're just going to focus him and he's going to die. Goong is going to end up going a little bit onto Piglet after Piglet gets kicked back in. That we can watch, so Piglet gets kicked back in. Pumandu starts running backwards, and he flashes actually. So now Pumandu and Piglet are in the same area, and Save jumps in because it's Zonya ends. So and also a really good play by Goong. He barely misses his charm, so it barely skirts Faker because Faker ends up trying to attack Watch over here where the ward is, and Pumandu is barely not in range of it. It's still gonna force these guys backwards into saves. Save's gonna get he's gonna double kill them with the slow later on in the fight, and he's gonna barely almost kill Piglet actually. And the box is still zoning out Zephyr and Gorilla. You're gonna see Impact, who's still gonna try to be zoning out Goong. Faker still isn't doing anything. He needs to shield Piglet, but I'm pretty sure his shield is on cooldown, or it's just being used right now. And Faker needs to ultimate to prevent this backline from coming in, and they need to kill Goong right over here. But Faker doesn't do that. He still holds onto the ultimate. So as we watch dies, he goes down, and then Save gets the double kill onto both Pumandu and Piglet, so Save gets the double kill. Impact and Bengi are going to jump onto Goong. Goong's going to take a bunch of damage from the isolation from Bengi, and Bengi's going to flash this way to try and escape Save, when Save's going to Rift Walk right over here, right on top of where Goong is. Faker still hasn't used the ultimate, and the Thresh Box has run out, so John is now speeding up Zephyr for a bunch, and you could kind of see the Janna shield on top of the Bloodthirster shield for Zephyr. So Zephyr has a massive shield going on right now, and he can get into the middle of this mix. And as we let the fight roll on, Goong dies, Save jumps in, Bengi flash, Zephyr has a Bloodthirster shield going on. Do I have that? No, I have this a little afterwards. So that's the Bloodthirster shield going on, and this is where I wanted to show, because this shows just the crazy mechanics that these players are playing with, and it shows how close this fight could have been if Faker had gotten a better ultimate with the position that he was working with. So Gorilla's going to get a slow onto Bengi and onto Impact, and this slow's like a 60-70% slow from Frost Queen's claim. He's also speeding up, which is this green thing underneath, is speeding up his team with his Captain Enchantment. So Zephyr's Gorilla's doing a lot in this fight, and Zephyr's just putting out DPS onto Bengi. Slave's going to end up killing Bengi, and you see that Faker gets the nice Orianna shield onto Bengi while moving his ball towards Zephyr and Gorilla. And I'll let this clip roll out, and you could just see the ultimate, how it kills only one person. But what I wanted to point out was just the closeness. So yeah, I point out how Faker moves his ball. Zephyr's going to try to move towards Faker to kill him because the shield was already used on Bengi, so Faker can't bring the ball back to himself. And Faker's looking to get an ult over here. So here's the next clip, and you can see that the thin white line is where Orianna's ult radius is. Zephyr right now is on the edge of that radius. Gorilla's on that radius. Gorilla took a bunch of damage. He's going to get 100-0 by Bengi and Faker. Bengi still has the Orianna shield on him, and this tornado is going to go and knock up Bengi to prevent him from running away by Save, even though he has the resets. I'm pretty sure he has level 2. Yeah, he actually has 1 point in all of his evolution skills, so he does have evolved jump. And Save's going to get enough time for him to kill him. It's this slows down Impact from him joining Zephyr and Faker to help peel for Faker. And you could just see the closeness of how close it was to getting both Zephyr and Goong. If Faker had gotten both Zephyr and Goong, this fight might have turned, but he doesn't. He only gets Gorilla, and Gorilla ends up getting red barred, and he dies. And from 100-0, Impact is healing right now, and he's gets a speed up from his ultimate. He's going to join Zephyr and Faker to try to peel for Faker. Like I said, Zephyr's going to go on to Faker. He's going to 100% zero him, and Zephyr has his Bloodthirster shield, which is going to allow him to tank Impact for a fair bit, and he also has the red buff, so he's going to be able to kite Impact down and give Save enough time to go onto the edge of this wall and to jump over and to help Zephyr kill Impact. So Gorilla dies. Faker dies because Zephyr jumped onto him. Save walks downwards after he kills Bengi. Save's going to jump over and try to kill Impact, and Impact, who's healing. Zephyr gets a few crits onto Impact. Impact doesn't have that much armor, and Impact dies to Zephyr. So I just wanted to really review that fight because it was a really great fight in my opinion, and congrats to White Shield for making it to Worlds. And the West has to be scared, and teams have to be scared of this. Like, this is a third place team in Korea, and they beat out last season's winners. So anyways, it was just a quick team fight review. I'll be doing more from this series, and check them out because they're going to be the green ones. And that's about it. And also later on, I'll probably be reviewing both the Curse versus LMQ playoff third place match and the match between Cloud9 and TSM for first place. So anyways, thanks for watching.